Sounding okay. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Turn the music down a little. Okay. So I appreciate you being here, Doors. Alright. How about that? We doing okay with that? Let's see now. Alright. Hey. Test. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Seems to be a little bit better that time around. Peaking levels. Our green is looking good on our mic. Now there is no music. We'll try for somewhere in there, because now that puts me at higher than right there. Okay. Now we got it. Woo! Good job, everybody. Good job. High fives. The highest of fives. Pro Jam high five. Thanks for being patient. So yeah, today is a good one. I'm excited for it. I am nervous as well. I was trying to get a dry run in yesterday, and I didn't have time to complete what I wanted to do. So we are going to make biscuits from scratch today to go with our chicken and biscuits. The filling and the dinner part is going to be... Oh yeah, the Fafos. We're gonna Fafo around. New emotes are finally approved. We got there. We got our new emotes out there. So if you're not a sub, unfortunately I don't have follower emotes, but someday we will. But the new sub emotes are approved. But yeah, the chicken pot pie is kind of, we're doing like a chicken pot pie filling that'll go with the biscuit. I'm gonna go and do 2 different sets of biscuits, because the batch only makes about 8 of them. So I'm going to do 8 as squares and then 8 as rounds, and see how we do. See if we can get a difference out of it. And there's a little bit of controversy when it comes to this kind of thing, so I'm trying to track it down a little bit. But we are going to make those 2 different biscuits, and also like I said, all of our chicken pot pie filling stuff. This is an interesting recipe. It is on the Serious Eats. I would recommend looking it up. So we're going to take their biscuit recipe separate from this other one, because they normally do this other pie filling with like a drop biscuit. But we're going to use a real buttermilk kind of biscuit and kind of sandwich it in and get it on top. Kind of open face sandwich, if you will, with the pie filling. And then biscuit to kind of go on top and get it from there. So it's going to be good. Hope, fingers crossed, it's going to be good. Yeah, definitely nice. So we do have a lot to do today. We need to get, our chicken's going to be prepped first. We're going to get the chicken going. It's going to basically make its own stock. And then while we let it cool a little bit after the chicken's cooked, we're going to pull the chicken out, strain it, so we have our stock. Get our pie filling done, which won't take too long, and get that to thicken up. And then at that time we can get our biscuits done and prepped. And then when the biscuits come out, our chicken can kind of go into our filling mix at that point, where it's basically heated up and finished cooking while the biscuits are cooking. So everything should kind of come all together at once, come out of the oven, be good to go. That's the plan anyway. So we're looking at probably a 6 to 6:30 dinner time, I'm imagining. Because this is gonna take, what do we got? We got at least an hour or so with it cooking in the stock. So basically it's just gonna boil in the stock at first, and then going through another batch when it's actually cooking with the filling itself. So this should be interesting. So for our chicken, we might as well go ahead and get started. Gonna get my hands washed first. Cameras look okay. I've actually got some color to me. It's kind of nice. We'll see what it looks like when we switch over. Let's switch over. And remember that I switched the cameras. Hey, get a cutting board there so it actually looks like something. There we go. You can actually see it. Look at that. Alright, so we're going with 1 onion, 2 large carrots, 2 celeries, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 sprigs of thyme, flat parsley, rosemary, and bay leaf. Now this is all going to go into the chicken. We're going to put it in our Dutch oven right here and boil it up with the stock. And that'll just help enrich the flavor for the stock that we're going to do after that. So these guys will actually come back out, be strained out, and discarded at that point. The chicken will be left behind, nice and somewhat cooked. I don't think they cook it all the way. They want the stock to register at 150 so that we know the stock is safe to transfer and eat at that point. And we're looking for the thickest part of the chicken to register at least 135 to say 140. So it'll be almost cooked, but then it'll finish cooking inside the pie filling at that point. Thicken up. Yes, thicken up. Also, I want to point this out. Is it this way? Yeah, it's this way. So I got to point the other way from what I'm thinking. That follower goal over there. It's so close. Today might be the day. It might be the day. Who knows? We're going in optimistic on this Sunday nights. So we're gonna go in optimistic with it. There's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of stuff in the world right now, but we're trying to come together and take a moment and get a little bit of rest from the world in that aspect and enjoy family as a dinner, or dinner as a family. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. And so I invite you guys in to take some of the worry off for a little bit, and join us while we get our dinner ready and hang out. So let's get it started, shall we? Oh, I'm washing hands first. First thing I was supposed to do. Ooh, that's hot. Really hot. I know, Drew Adores, it is so close. Hope everybody was having a good weekend as well. I know Sundays are always tough. It's always the wind down. Everybody's trying to take it easy. So that's why I invite you to come in, take the worry load off. Tomorrow we'll be there. Doesn't need to be here today at that point. Let's get our apron on. We'll get our head on too, because I know we'll sweat. It's just gonna happen. It always happens. So it's hard to believe that this is the last stream of February for me, with Monday being the last day of February, Tuesday being Fat Tuesday, and then Wednesday leading into Ash Wednesday and the start of Lent. Not Catholic at all, but I enjoy the practice of Lent. Couldn't tell you why. One of those things. Tomorrow is Monday, that was fast. I know some of you guys in the chat had the entire week off, which must have been nice, but those days are coming to an end. So let's go ahead and we're going to prep all of our veggies at this point. We're going to prep them for each stage. So first we're going to set aside for our chicken. And then for our filling, so that way we have the two kind of going on. Smart, right? That's what I was thinking. So for our filling, we're going to take one large carrot. I don't know if this is it's not really a large carrot. So I'm going to say 2 of those is a large carrot. You know what? We'll do 2 more into the stock, 2 more into there. There we go. Stonks, fillings. That'll work. That way we're using it up. Same thing for our celeries. Need 2 large ribs diced, and then their filling's gonna take just 1 large rib. Okay. So we'll have a little bit of celery left over. That's all right. Along with a little mirepoix. Are you going to peel the carrots? Yes, I am going to peel the carrots. We're just setting aside everything that we need at this point. So 2 sprigs of thyme. That's 1. And 2. It's going into our stock. And how much is going into our chicken? Probably about 1 is what it says. Okay. We get all the good flavors then. We're getting the full poultry blend almost at this point without any sage. That's the only thing that I can see is missing from your standard mix. And that's what I'm using actually. This is from last Sunday. It's been in there, so it's still good. There's some thyme in there, and then there's some sage, but that's what we're looking for is this rosemary guy. Yep. So get a sprig of that into the stock. Do we get some in the... Oh, they actually don't put any in the filling. Okay, so no rosemary in the filling, only in the stock. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so that's our herbs. Let's get our onions. One of each. Yeah, so 1 in that one. Oh, nope, that guy's a little deep. There's 1. How much in our filling? We're looking at another medium onion. Let's say large. It is 1 large onion. So we're gonna put 1 more in the stock just cause. Keeping it. Whoop. Can't really get it all on the screen, can I? Okay, we're good. That rotten guy out of here. Some bay leaves and our garlic. We're almost there. So we got our garlics. How much are we looking at in this? 2 medium cloves crushed, and inside thyme. No garlic in the actual filling. That doesn't seem right, does it? Chicken stock, butter, flour, onion, carrot, celery, white wine, chicken stock, frozen peas, peppers, salts. We're sticking to the recipe though, so again, I've been a proponent of it as well, not over garlicking things. Garlic is great. I know what garlic tastes like. I do appreciate garlic when it accompanies something, but it doesn't. If it's not called garlicky or something else, here it's not calling out for it, so we're not going to do it. We're going to hold true. So we're going to get our chicken stock. We're going to need some butter. We're going to need a lot of butter out for the biscuits as well. going to take all of them. So this one is going to take 4 ounces. All the butters. We've got all the butters. So our filling is going to take 4 ounces. So that's going to take half of that. Alright. Oh no, it's a half a stick. Yep, so that's that guy. Dang. That's our filling. And our chicken's not going one, but then we need 8 for our biscuits. So yeah, we need all of this for our biscuits. One more, honestly, if we could find it. I don't think that I can. I should have gotten more butter. That's alright. That should be more than enough to get us where we need to go. Let's start getting some of this broken down, though. So this is going to be our... Just gotta remember to keep our piles separate, that's all. That's our filling, that's our stocks. Let's get our peeler out. Bowl to make this easy. Where's our plastic bowl? Alright, let's get our carrots peeled and get that part going. See, it's still a little off. Whew. I'm definitely hungry already. How you guys doing out there tonight? I hope the Sundays are treating you okay. It's been a busy weekend here, I know. Hopefully you're staying safe, whatever it is you're doing. Peeled real quick, and then we'll get them. What does it say to do? It wants diced. So everything diced, basically. Onion diced, carrot diced, celery diced. So that makes it easy. Short work of it. So are you happy about the... Yes, absolutely. I'm happy about that. There's a couple other ones that got approved as well, but you might not see them yet. There is a couple emotes special for people that do bits. That was one of the things I was allowed to do, so I got a couple of those in there. We got some of the other level 2 and or tier 2 and tier 3 subscription emotes as well. So we're getting there. I'm happy with it. This has been a great 2 months. Basically being back 2 full months now at this point streaming, and I didn't think that I would make it this far this time around. I was honestly worried for myself. I wasn't holding to my commitments for it, but now it seemed we've gotten into a pattern now. I'm kind of going. I'm enjoying the Sundays. Wednesday was great. Wednesday ran way later than it normally does by like an hour or so, but the bread that came out of that was just amazing. Super good. I had some of it today. It's like a nice toast with a really good butter. Awesome. Turned one of the loaves into garlic bread for when we did pasta on like what night was it? Thursday night. So yes, Thursday night we did the pasta, so we turned it into that. That was great. And unfortunately, though, we have lost the boil mother dough starter. It has been extremely hot and then cold, and I think the cold was too much for it. Yeah, it's all right. We'll give it another attempt. It's supposed to be pretty cold here for the next week again at nighttime, but after that it's supposed to go back to our normal where we won't see freezing, we won't see those kind of things. So I'm gonna try and wait till then and restart the process and get another starter going, and then also get some garden stuff going on in the background. We're trying to grow some of our own foods this year and some transitions into other stuff. So lots going on in the background, and I'm trying to figure out how I can share those with everybody. The food, obviously, once it's grown, will make its way here to the stream. That's the goal, anyway. We've got some peppers lined up. Got some cucumbers, probably some tomatoes. Probably not going to be an issue with that. Alright, I'm going to throw the hat on. It's already there. It's in the way. So, lots of things lined up for that, but that's a whole other planning and ball game as well. So, this one I'm not going to peel this one just because I'm not eating it, so I don't really care what the texture so much is. So I will wash it to make sure that you don't get any extra dirt McGirt in our stomachs. The old dirt McGirt, also known as the big baby Jesus. Alright. Well, let's peel the rest of our carrots on the other side now. So I'm gonna do, I'll do a dice, and maybe I'll try and get some square dicing in. Practice a little bit of my knife skills. This would be a good opportunity for it. No guarantees on it though. No guarantees at all. So it'll probably be more of a country dice, which is fine. It should still cook pretty evenly, and uniform. So, and still have that great taste of what we're looking for. It's been a while since I've had, I think any of us have had chicken and biscuits. Well over a year at this point, I think. What about you guys? When's the last time you had a memorable chicken and biscuits? It's a great comfort food, I find. Alright, so we got all our peeling done. I know it's not appealing, but somebody's got to do it. Thanks. All the dad jokes will come their way. Alright, so we need to get these cut up and diced and crushed and all the good stuff. So let's get our knife out. Trying a new place for that camera cord. It seems to be working okay. Try and hone, at least before I usually do it, use the knife just because it helps line up the little edgy blades, or like the bobbles of the edge in the blade. It's not always having to sharpen, but just even honing it seems to help. Just kind of lines things back up, makes it nice and easy. These. Cut off the tips. Good ring on that metal bell. Got a good resonance. What's up? It's gonna be a couple hours before dinner is ready, just so you're aware.
You're making one of my favorite dinners, so.
Well, there you go then. So it should work out pretty nicely.
Chicken noodle soup and chicken dumplings are my two favorite.
Chicken noodle soup? Who would have thought that was one of your favorite meals? No one ever.
No, it's such a shocking.
Says anybody in the studio audience, our household of five. Yeah, LOL doors, exactly. Who would have known? Who would have guessed it?
Sushi's in the top 3 as well, but you know.
Well, the sushis and the sashimis should be up there in the top 3.
Very end.
And we'll get to that kind of stuff eventually. I would like to get into start learning how to roll my own sushi at the house, so I can do rolls and that kind of thing. We have access to great local fresh fish and all kinds of seaweed for any kind of wraps that we want to do. So it's on the list. We're building our skills. We're trying to make sure that we understand our base before we keep jumping forward, but we're getting there. I think this is a good step up today. This is a nice home cooked hearty meal, but it's a kind of very leveled up with having cooking and making the stock at once, and then transitioning that into a filling, which is kind of cool. I like it. All right, so let's get these cut up. Let's do full dice. So we'll cut them in half. So I do the carrots in half. I said we're gonna get a nice country square on them, especially on these. These are the ones going in the stock, so it's not too prevalent what they look like, if you will. I'd say that's pretty good. Oop, oop. Oh, we need our bench scraper. I'm not using the knife. We're working on that. Knife skills involving not using the knife to pick it up off the cutting board. So all this is going to go into our Dutch oven. It's a 6 quart, so it should hold it. We're going to put in about 2 quarts of stock anyway. So it's definitely going to take a little bit to get it going. Let's see if we can get this a little more cut out at once. Can we do it? Oh, oh. Like I said, this isn't too bad just because this is going into the stock, so I'm not too worried about what it looks like. And it's for the fam, so I think they'll be okay if their carrots aren't exactly square. I would hope so anyway. You never know. Hopefully this camera's coming in a little better. We switched around the cameras I was using for the stove and for the counter here. Kind of get a little bit better quality on it. The color is a little bit better. That's for sure. Better by a lot. Yeah. That's what I was hoping. You never know. Let's get our lettuce, our celery done. I was honestly hoping it would be a little bit cooler, but this is a good cool weather treat. Get our onions done. So this should help a little bit too with building up on what we learned on Wednesday with mess around with the Doug. We will see that coming up when we do the biscuits. It's again another area that I'm not well acclimated and want to know more, want to be able to make better biscuits, better Dougs, right? I want to do Doug Judy proud. I don't want to be a mangy Carl. Hello, Anthea. How are you? That's a cute emote. Where'd you get that? Hope you're doing alright tonight. Alright, let's get these onions chopped up. Already smelling good. It's got all the good vibes for good smelling food. I I got rosemary, I got thyme, I got onions, I got my full mirepoix. How much better can it get than that? Oh, you got gifted a sub? Nice. Right doors, it definitely can. Oh, oh. Alright, that was one onion. So we need one more, right? It said 2 onions, or it just said 1 large onion. So we're going with 2 smaller ones because that's what we had. So it's been, like I said, probably over a year since I've had this. Definitely been a while. And this is, the buttermilk biscuits are new for me. I don't usually just do a drop biscuit. I don't normally do them this style. So I am a little nervous about it. If you want to try as well, these come from the Serious Eats Food Labs. These are the biscuits in there. If you do the exclamation point menu, that'll take you to the recipe site. Try and include all those in, and make sure that we're fully covered. What is that a Wild Mikey 6 gun? Is that a Wild Mikey 6 gun? What is this? I had heard rumors and rumblings, but I had not seen the man, the myth, the legend yet. How you doing tonight there, Mikey? Hope you're doing alright. It appeared from the grass. Very nice, very nice. How you doing tonight, man? Hope things are treating you alright. Good? Alright, awesome. Glad to hear it. I know, it's been a while since we've been online, if you will. Urgh. We're just now getting ready to make some chicken and biscuits with some chicken pot pie filling and some fresh biscuits. 95% with a new setup. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. That's awesome, dude. So things must be getting set up to a good point, which is always great to hear. Excited to see what you come back with. I know you'd been talking about some Warhammer, like that Warhammer Diablo game, but then I know Lost Ark came out as well, so I don't know if you're into the Lost Ark aspect of this just yet. Alright, so we crushed up our garlic. We got 2 sprigs of thyme. We got a sprig of rosemary to go in it as well. So that's awesome, dude. I'm excited for that. I can't wait for that now. Like I said, I saw you posted. I saw you starting to get that build up and ready to go. That's exciting, man. That's really exciting. Cause it's been a minute. Okay, so we got a bay leaf. We need bay leaf. Tingles again. You got the tingles going for me in my heart. I felt it. I was ready. Alright, so all of our prep for our chicken stonks and cooking our chicken is good to go. We've still got our filling stuff. Let's get that done up real quick so that way we're doing all of our veggies and stuff first before we get to our meats. Trying to keep it contained without cross-contaminating. I know it all goes to the same spot, but just trying to be work smarter, if you will. so we're gonna try and get a little more knifey skill on this one. So let's see. Now, celery is never my good cutter. Alright. Somewhat square-ish. New camera, new setup, new keyboard. Dang, you went all out, man. This is gonna be Mikey 6Gun 2.0 fully. Though I would say that's kind of what it felt like for me with getting the new camera as well. We upgraded to the Elgato Facecam, and it's finally nice that I'm not completely whited out in my background. Like the cabinets used to just. I tried using the phone, I tried using a webcam, and it just destroyed the background. So this actually got it going. 420 points. Oh, nice. Nice name. Dude, they're great. They're well worth the money. The software is great. The balancing on it is great. For being like a mirrorless webcam, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, it still has like the Sony processor of like a higher, A6000 series. It gives you a good compression. Obviously not as good as that, but when we're broadcasting at 720 or 1080, they look great. I already have what? A dead pixel? Oh no. Did they come like that? I would say might be time to give them a ring up and be like, hey guys, right out the gate, are you working with a dead pixel? Oh yeah, so see, these are trying to keep these a little more uniform in shape. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Sorry, it started off rough with the dead pixel, but honestly, it's one of the best ones that I've used. And for the price, I mean, you can't really beat it. They're about 2 or so, which isn't too bad. Basically doing like a Julian style on these, but then gonna cut them again, get those squares. There we go. All right, pretty happy with that. That's not bad for a country dice, if you will. Okay. Yeah, I mean, is it somewhere like super noticeable, or is it like in a corner where you could like kind of like hide it or something, or is that would be sweet too? It's exciting though. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad there's been a lot of good streamers, getting back out there, and a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of good vibes on Twitch lately, which is much needed in the world we got today. There's just a lot of great communities that are just awesome communities, and the people that they support are great as well. Unless you really look at it, then yeah, that's I wouldn't look that the other way. They wanted to refund me that and just kind of deal with it. Yeah, I can imagine. I have something similar. I have a 20-inch curved monitor, and on the second day that I got it, I yanked the cord out of something, and it just like swung around and like put a little nick onto my screen. It's my further screen away, but now every time all I can see is this tiny little like dent in the screen every single time. Yeah, it was definitely an oof. It was definitely an oof moment. But I've learned to deal with it. It was my own fault too, so there's nothing I could do. It's just like, oh, that's my fault. Dang. For what?
Making loud noise.
Yes, you cannot live your life in this household while I'm streaming. Everybody must be quiet, I tell you.
Alright.
Love you.
Happy birthday, love.
Hey, Asteriana. How you doing today? How's your Sunday treating you? Oh, now you have a mini fridge right next to you. Oh, then you're ballin' then, Mikey. Is it an Xbox mini fridge? Tell me it's an new Xbox mini series fridge. So we're just getting our carrots cut up for our filling. We've got all of our mirepoix and everything set up for our stonks already on the stove. We're gonna get that going shortly. We're just trying to cut all of our veggies and stuff first before we get the board dirty with all the chicken bones and all the good stuff. Trying to work on our knife skills a little bit too and try and get some nice square dicings. Obviously they're not gonna be 100%, but they're coming out pretty good. Pretty good. That's shaped like a box. It's box shaped? Okay. Oop, oop. Come on, get the eagle claw grip so that we don't cut ourselves. Yeah, see these should cook up nice. Yeah. Lonely Pickle. Hello. How are you doing, sir? Or ma'am? Or guy, gal, non-binary pal? Unsure. But better than the last time I stopped in. Love carrots. Well, I'm glad it's a little bit better than the last time. I know sometimes it's not easy, but again, the world's a crazy place right now. That's why I was trying to give it a little refuge, so to come in and take a load off, hang out, and hopefully help distract yourself for a little while. Doing better. I'm doing pretty good. Just getting ready to make some chicken and biscuits. You've done it. Lonely Pickle, you've done it. I don't know if you realize what you've done, but hold on. I'm going to turn it on. Are you ready? We did it. We hit 100 followers. Congratulations, Lonely Pickle, for being our 100th follower. We're doing awesome now. Awesome. Yes. Our confetti's rains down. So yes, we're doing great right now. We're doing awesome. We are in the process of making some chicken and biscuits from scratch, and we're going to do our biscuits, but you helped to get us here, and so thanks for stopping in. Hope your Sunday's treating you okay. My name is Widget33, Widget, Andy B, whatever it is you like to call me. I come here to Twitch on Wednesdays and Sundays and do some home chef cooking, or not a chef, let's not use a chef, home cooking, if you will. And yeah, so today's a big one. Sunday nights are our family Sunday night dinners, and it's usually a good one. Today was awesome. You made it awesome. So thank you so much, guys. It really means it means a lot that we got here. The wait is over. You were right. So yes. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. There's been some really great community spots lately, with everything going on. A little bit of refuge from the world, if you will, and some really great communities that are just amazing people, funny, supportive, highly talented, and I don't know. It's nice to see because it's a group of people that's doing well and in a good community, like I said, but in a good setting as well. It feels like food and drink is starting to come up a little bit, and really starting to kick in now. So it's kind of cool. There's some good success going on, and there's also some struggles, but the successes have been outweighing, it seems, the struggle a little bit. So yeah, awesome. Now I'm hyped. Now I'm so hyped. I think you know what? We're gonna do one more carrot. I don't even care. We're gonna do one more carrot because now we got the energy, we got the motivation. We're gonna get it going. We got some. Like I said, we're trying to work on our dice a little bit. Get that kind of country dice. Get them pretty square, pretty even for our cooking. It's not a professional grade at all. So don't get it confused with that. New favorite streamer? Awesome. I appreciate that. Place everything with more carrots. Yes. See, carrots are so versatile, though. I mean, they're great in everything. They're great raw as a snack. You can also turn them into carrot cake, which is another amazing one as well. Very versatile. And being part of that original trio, that mirepoix of the celery, onions, and carrots, it's one of the OG3. How are you now? Good and you? Not so bad. Thanks for the redemption there, Doors. Alright, so there's our celery's underneath there. This will be all for our filling. It's pretty square. Oh, no. See, I say it's pretty square, and then I pull out one piece that's not. Pretty consistent and uniform, so happy with that. We'll keep our onions separate on this guy, just because I don't want them to linger too long. It's going to be probably about an hour really before we even get those in there. So let's get this onion diced up. Yes, so hyped, still hyped. Gotta get there. Got you on that hydrate. Thank you so much. You knew exactly what I was gonna do. You're reading my mind. So we go. Okay. Venetian, yes. Actually, I need to see. I know I was in the Venetians a little bit earlier. I was able to be one of the 3 to activate my points for the waifu mode. I've been saving them for quite a while. I've been watching Nishan stream and trying to learn and just enjoy what's going on in there. Sometimes it's the madness and the chaos that I like. Other times it's very chill. And plus Biggie's there. It's a great place to go. Okay, so let's see. What is the best way to do this? I think we're gonna go straight up and then across. We'll go with that. And again, I am not a professional chef. I am a home chef, home cook. I am trying to improve my skills, but it is not always restaurant quality on the par. Yes, 200? Oh man, 200 push-ups. Woo! He's a beast though. He is a beast. Because he has those in there, and it's kind of a punishment, but at the same time, he's able to rip out like 180. I couldn't do 180 push-ups right now if you asked me to do 180 push-ups. Like I would be, if it was a life or death situation, I would say carry on without me. I'm gone. Dad mode shut down. We're not doing 100 push-ups. You're doing good, but as a pro chef, I'll co-sign. I appreciate that, Mikey. I appreciate that a lot. Because I know you were in there and really killing it as a chef, and picking it up when you had to take your break last time, and so it means a lot coming from you, man. I know you're in the kitchen and doing your thing, so really, I do appreciate that. So, eat the food that he made. Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. But if you make it part of the redeem, you gotta be able to do it, I guess. A tough love situation, if you will. Our scrap bowl is filling up. I'm glad we got one today. Oh, I see I cut this one in half. I wasn't even thinking. Alright, let's just cut it like that then. So trying to get better with our root side down so that I just have the roots and I have something to hold on while I'm chopping it. That seems to have been the best method that I can find so far. A pretty consistent cut. I'm just wondering if I should cut radially or like, I don't know. I guess the knife skills will guide us. Oh, we got a little slippery. Yeah. That's the best method. That's what I was saying. I've seen it quite a bit. It's pretty consistent. They're nice and well broken down. This bench scraper, though, I'm glad I got this dang thing. Saving my knife. So the knife will be the next guy, hopefully. We have a new cutting board coming soon. Should be here, hopefully, this week. It is a homemade guy from my father-in-law, so we're going to be rocking that as much as we humanly possibly can, because he's becoming really great at woodworking and he made us an awesome cutting board. How great is that? Alright, let's get our time in there. So this is our filling stuff. We're going to switch over here in just a moment and show our stock stuff. But first, we need to get our chicken done. Yeah. Alright, so here's our chicken guy. We got our chicken breast on the bone, which is what we wanted. We're going to put this in as is. We're going to trim up some of the skin and that kind of stuff. Probably take most of the skin off, honestly, because we don't need a whole lot of that fat in there. But leave the bones on, because it's going to cook in this stock to bring the chicken itself up to about 135-ish. Not fully cooked, but bring it up quite a bit in the thickest parts. And then the stock itself should be at about 150, so it should still be, basically cooked through and good to use at that point. I'm making meatballs right now. Nice. What kind of meatballs are we doing? Are we talking like a traditional, like a mix of beef and pork? We're talking turkey. What kind of meatballs are we talking? We love to do smells. Oh, we're good. I think we're good. Okay, no, then we're good. Alright, I think it's just our onion linger. Make sure that wasn't the funk. Beef, nice. We did those recently ourselves. Always a big fan of them. I like to braise them and make a quick red sauce in our food processor, and then braise them in that basically for about 45 minutes and let them cook through. Get a nice sear on them, seal them on the insides, and then, like I said, cook them on the inside of that. They turn out pretty well. It's a nice weeknight dinner where it's nothing too crazy, because I just do a quick meatball, not a crazy, like, I haven't gotten a Sicilian grandma kind of recipe or anything like that. Just ripping all this skin off, like I said, because we're trying to make the stock, so we don't need a ton of fat in the stock. Taking that skin off. We're going to leave the bones on, though, like I said, to add some depth and flavor to that broth. See that one, even the collarbone is still on. That's fine, because we're going to strain it out anyway. So we're good with that. How often do I stream? I do Wednesdays and I do Sundays. Wednesday night I try and learn something new, kind of push my culinary skills and share that with everyone here. And then Sunday nights are our family Sunday night dinners, where I'm cooking for my household of 5, and everybody that comes in and hangs out. It's kind of a tradition that my in-laws used to do. We used to go over and hang out with them all day and gather around and cook dinner and just catch up and do that kind of thing. So trying to create something similar in a virtual environment, if you will. Reverse seared pork chops, sweet potato croquettes, and lemon horse. Oh my gosh. She thought green beans. You are simple fare for a simple night. You, sir, are. That sounds amazing. Too modest is what you're being, because that sounds amazing. The sweet potato croquettes, like that's a ballin' move there, sir. All right, so our chicken, I trimmed a little bit of it there real quick. Got some of the skin and stuff off. You can leave a little bit on. It's not huge, but we're just gonna try and get cooked through some of this. So let's get that into our pots. Oh. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, that's just the skin and the oil, I guess. Alright. Nice and slimy. Right, the only pickle, that's what I was thinking. That is not quite the simple dish. That is a modest explanation. Alright, let's get our hands washed. Get our board washed. Our knife washed. We gotta go on washer must be running. Even though I don't have to bust out the KitchenAid is simple. Sweet potatoes and carrots. Yeah, well, I definitely have to do some roastings. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Right? Who would have guessed? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Was waiting for the oil to heat up. Yeah, and it's not like we all have commercial deep fryers on and ready to go in our houses, unfortunately. I've been using the Dutch oven the last couple times that I've been doing any kind of frying, just because it's really been retaining the heat well. Plus, with it being, it's like the ceramic coating or whatever, makes it relatively easy to clean up and do that kind of thing. I don't have one yet. Yet being the key word there. I like that. Okay, so let's switch over and show our about. There's our stuff. It's kind of hard to see right now. All of our stuff is underneath there, so let's get our stock in it. Yep. Where's our stocks? Vegetables. Okay. What does it say? It says 2 quarts. Of course they would do it in not that. Where's my phone? We'll get that conversion. The Japanese countertop ones. Oh man. You're going all out on this 420.69 rendition though. I like it. I like your thought process, sir. What is it? 2 quarts. What's the easiest one we can go to? 2 ounces. Give it to me in ounces. So 64. So I need 2 of those. All right. That would have been a whole lot easier. All right. So all of our chicken and all of our mirepoix basically are in there. We have a separate guy for our fillings. So this is just gonna basically kind of help parboil the chicken basically, and then also make a stonk that we can use for the filling itself. It should have all the good flavors from the bone and all the other stuff that we're putting in there. So. Should come out right. I should have just enough room in here because this is a 6-quart. So we're gonna see. I should have done this right. Let's hope. We need to get it going too. Right to the line. Right to the dang line. Oh my gosh. Invested a cheesecloth. Yeah, I know I need to do, it is on the list. And actually, the list got raised. Hold on. Let's put it back on the list. Cheesecloth. Because we got... Yeah, this one I got a couple of sheaves that we're gonna strain it through. So we should catch most of it. Some of it will linger over, and that's okay because we're gonna use some of that in the actual in the filling as well. For big or small meatballs, see it's a personal choice. I like that nice medium ground where it's not like too tiny and they cook too quick. I feel like the massive meatballs tend to be undercooked or take longer to cook. Whereas if you can get that nice, like palm-sized mediumness, you get a good seal on the outside, good cook on the inside, and a decent amount of time. So for personally, it's the medium balls. Are you? Yeah, they slowly float their way up to the tops. So at this point, let me switch it over. You don't need to look at the. You look at me. So basically, now we gotta bring this up 1.5 to 2 ounce. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not quite too small. I feel like a 1 ounce meatball is small, and like a 3 to 4 is probably a chunker. But like a 1.5 to 2 is a good size. All right. So what we're doing now? What are we doing? Everything is in. All of our stuff is on. We got it on our medium heats. We need to bring it up to about 150, and then cook our chicken to 135, like I said. All right, so that'll be going. That'll be goods. Oh, wait, it fits, it sits. Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Sarah. How are you doing? Garzano Pop, how you doing tonight? Welcome in. Welcome in. So for everybody new and joining us, my name is Widget33, Widget, Andy B, whatever it is you like to call me. I'm cooking dinner for my family tonight. Our Sunday night family dinners, our live studio audience, our household of 5. So welcome in. Offering a little refuge in the world right now as a place to take a little worry off, hang out, and take it easy for a little while. A menu skill test? I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I've been trying to push it a little bit in the background, trying to do some recipe research, definitely doing some technique research, digging through some of the law technique and seeing what I can cover and actually show and do. So I'm all for that, man. I know it takes time to like set that up and do that kind of thing. Oh ho, doors. You want to show Sarah what emote finally got approved? Which one's finally out there? Oh, there it is. Finally, it took him forever. It took him like 3 weeks to approve that dang emote. You should have it. You should have it. You have a sub. You should have it. Yeah. I got a neck now. Got shaved up today. Got cleaned up and groomed. Oh, I'm a real boy. That's what it feels like sometimes when you get, I don't know, for anybody that has beards, when you get it, it goes from wildness. Last time it was like out to here, brought me back down in, so we're not quite the beast anymore. A little more tame. But actually, yeah, the lighting is perfect for it though. Makes the beard look really good. I appreciate that. Alright, so we're waiting on this. That's what I'm doing. Let's get ahead. Let's take a baseline temp. Let's see where we're looking at, because I think we got a long way to go. Short time to get there. Okay, our stock temp is about 95, 96 in our mids, which we kind of figured was going to happen. And I figure it's probably going to take it. Hey! That is the emote. Did that come in as the follower emote? Yeah, maybe they're in the follower ones now. No cleaver yet. Not yet. It is on the list of things that I want, especially with some of the chicken bones and some of the thicker stuff that I would like to get through. I've also got some daikon and stuff in my near future that I want to get through, and some of that stuff is a bit heavy. The channel points. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I forgot to turn those channel points on. Yes, love it. But yes, the cleaver is on the list. Yes, I get a budget for kitchen stuff so that I don't go crazy. It would be easy. A good Chinese cleaver. Okay. Again, recommendations are always up. Yes, I know you do, Sarah, but I was unsure how to be like, hey, could you send a cleaver through the mail? Like, would it be weird if a private party send a cleaver through the mail? Yes, it does have everything. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It has absolutely everything out there. Fafo, love it. Love the Fafo, and that's what we do. Wednesdays are our Fafos. Like I said, Wednesday nights is us trying to like mess around, learning stuff, learning new techniques, recipes. I'm transitioning into Wednesdays to include some sort of meal at the end, because I've done a couple like our stocks and stuff, which were great, but I wasn't able to show like the finished project at the end of it. So it was kind of tough. I was able to use the finished product, which was awesome. It made an awesome risotto on that following Sunday, but at the end of like 2 hours, I wasn't able to show the stocks because I wanted to sit for another like 4 to 6 hours. So I'm wrestling some ideas and transitioning them in so that I can learn something, hype something down, and then have a meal to go with it. So like I think this following Wednesday is going to be red beans and rice. We are going to go veggie style on that though, so no andouille. With it being Ash Wednesday at the start of Lent and all that. Not Catholic, but I enjoyed Lent just to see if I can hold up some sort of self-sacrifice, I guess, for that time frame. And for me, it's going to be adult beverages for the Lent time, and including a workout schedule of 2 times a week. That's me. That's the personal. I'm working on the dad bod, trying to get it a little more dad, a little less bod, and that's just the personal preference. Yeah. No adult beverages for like a month. I think it's still doable. Still doable. Shouldn't be too hard. That's all I'm saying. Shouldn't be too hard. See where we're looking at again. Our stock's getting there. Our stock's like 135. So it says we want to keep the stock basically about 150. Oh, Mikey Six Gun with the resub. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This has been a crazy ride these 2 months, and it's been awesome. So I appreciate everybody that stops in, whether you're able to show support through subs or being here, being part of the conversation. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. So much hype. Yeah. So much hype. Yes, you have. It has been a lot longer. You got that first badge on there, Mikey. So I know how it goes. So cardio, weight training, or yoga. Probably a little bit of everything in there. We have the full, like a half rack, a squat rack in the garage with pulleys, and I got like 300 pounds of weight. So I have everything I could do. Like, I don't have to go to a gym. I don't have to go mix up with all this nonsense that's still going on in the world at a gym, and worry about somebody wiping their machine down or messing with any of that BS. We're not even looking at that stuff. We're doing it in the garage. We're lucky enough. We're doing it. One of my first sub. I hear you. So the weight training will definitely be a part of that. The cardio will probably just be longer walks or trying to get some run time in, and then the yoga, absolutely on the yoga. Oh, and speaking of, Anthea with the stretch. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. That lower back is, woo. It's killer, my guy. I got the fatigue mats, and they definitely are a big help. I'm still wearing shoes in here, so back down around 250. Heck yeah, that's awesome, dude. Different self-care. Skipped yoga this week for a pedicure. That's fine though. You've been out there like hustling and doing all that stuff in the woods. But Mikey, that's awesome, dude. I'm really glad to hear that. It's not easy, and that's the thing. It's setting aside the time for yourself and getting it done and being rigorous, and it's not easy. Do you ever bake? On Wednesday we just did bread for the first time on stream. We did some basic instant yeast, some King Arthur style recipe white bread. That turned out really well. We were mixing around with some of our rise times and that kind of stuff. It was a little more difficult because at nighttime has been some of the coldest nights we've had here. We're in San Diego, so it was actually pretty cold at night. We were in the 30s, so it was a little difficult on the rise time on some of it, but we got like 4 good loaves out of it, so that was a good time. So we're trying to include our baking a little more. We've done a king cake in the past. There's some future cakes in, and we're fully gonna mess around with Doug, like we call Doug Judy around here. So we're learning to mess around with him. Pushing almost 400. Were you really? I didn't realize it was at 4. That's insane, sir. That's a people you lost. That is, and that's phenomenal, dude. Like, we're all big. I know we're all big, but you are closer to me because I'm closer to the 240 range right now. Or but it all seems to sit here for me. I don't know what it is, which I'm happy with it because I enjoy the foods. I don't want to give up food. I don't want to give up any like certain style or anything else. I'm not trying to do like keto anymore or Atkins or do any of that. It's just going to be portion control for the foods that I like, and it's starting to include the exercise because I've gotten bad about it. I haven't held myself accountable for getting the workouts done. So, I'm always going to have the dad belly. I'm affirmative with that, but I just want to be a little bit on the little leaner side of the dad belly. Just a little. Just like a wee bit. Alright, let's get a zoom in. Let's get a zoom in on the chicken so you can kind of see what's going on in here. We're slowly coming up. Okay, we need to bring our... Alright. So we're sitting at about 160 for the cook, or for the stock temperature, which is good. We want to try and keep it right about there. And our chicken is definitely, I know we're not anywhere close on that chicken. It's probably going to take it another 40 minutes or so to really get going there. Excuse me. Haven't. How do I feel about the new Pokemon gen? It looks interesting. It's what, Scarlet and Violet? It looks interesting if they get that open world. I'm not sure how I feel about Fire Crocodile or Mario Hat Duck. But the Grass Kitty looks okay. Frog Buddy, as your dad calls it. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I forgot that he called it that. Let's get this chicken flipped a little bit. There we go. So we get some nice cooking action on the, basically boiling the chicken down. Got all of the bones in there as well, kind of help add to this broth that we'll use for our filling. Oop. Make sure it's all covered. Get down in there.
Waterboarding the chicken.
Yep. We're cooking by boiling. It's crazy, right? But it works. There we go. Frog bod. Damn right. Frog bod. You need me to open this apple juice? There you go.
Can I see if I go to grab a funnel?
Why are you going to get a funnel? Why don't you just get a cup?
Can I get a cup?
Yes, why would you ask for a funnel over a cup? You see what I'm working with here? Do you see what I'm working with? You would ask for a funnel, but not for a cup. What do you got going on here? What is this? What even is this?
So I can fill the water bottle.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Make it more difficult, you know?
Of course. Alright, so we got everything for... Let's make sure we got everything for our filling. We've got some chicken stock, which is going to be from that. We got our butter out, we got our flour, our onion is diced, our carrot and our celery. We've got our white wine. You know what? I was going to wait until we got to that point, but I think I'm going to bust out a celebratory white wine here to go with dinner. We have our Joe Gatz, our local recommendation from the Trader Joe's, a Sauvignon Blanc. We're using that to go with our chicken filling as well. And usually the white wines go better with chicken. I am not a sommelier in no shape or form. Let me repeat. I am not a sommelier in any shape and or form. I like wine because wine is good. I like to be better knowledgeable about my wine, but it doesn't mean that I always am. That's all I'm trying to say. Make sure we get our nice clean glass. Brandy or port? I have neither of those. We're working on that. That's another part of Wednesdays that I want to work on, and I think that's how I'm going to transition some of my learning pieces of that, so that I have a product. Is the work on the pairings and flavor, understandings of the flavors and how to build certain flavors with things like that. Understanding when a brandy would come in, or understanding when thyme is the right herb to use for something. Having a better understanding like that, and being able to know, what pieces need to go together. I think there was somebody was talking about like a flavor matrix. I can't remember who it was. Somebody was talking about a flavor matrix. I need to look that up again. It may have been our cat noise. She's around here somewhere. I don't know what she's doing. And she's been all in a mood today. We got her in. The cat's got a new cat tower. It's probably like it's up to here on me at her highest point. So she can get up pretty high now and look down upon her kingdom on all things that be. And she's been rather aggressive to make sure she gets her scent rubbed on it because it's brand new out of the box. And she's definitely been a little more vocal than she has been recently. You told me. Okay, the Flavor Bible. That's what it is. Yes, Asteriana. It's kind of crazy that it's up that high. It's like a little square box too, so she can like Sarah said, if she sits, she fits, and it's perfect, so she can kind of mold to that box and just kind of keep lookout over whatever it is. And she'll just wait for my wife to come home anyway, because that's the one she loves the most. Which is alright, because one day I'll get my Maine Coon. One day I will have my own Biggie. They have a nice little setup now. So now she's got her perch out in the front living room, and there's also a nice little sill in the living room behind like the TV what opens out front. So our Doge is out there every day waiting for us to come home and looking at us through the window as we come through. And you're probably still, yeah, you're probably right. Even if I did get a Maine Coon, it would probably still prefer Holly. You're absolutely right, Sarah. Let me flip around for this. Let me flip around. More trees to respect and no. Yeah, and that's tough. And this is our second cat tree at this point. And it is tough. Some super secret stuff and things. Okay. Be on the lurk mode there, sir. It's so what? Y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst. Let me switch over here. So, I say this to you guys. Cheers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for 100 followers. Here's to the first milestone and many more. And I can't wish anything but the best for everybody and send the best vibes out there that I can. Because I feel that same way from you guys when you guys come into here. So thank you again very, very much. It is more appreciated than I think you can ever know. Cheers. Thank you. Ooh, that's good too. Trader Joe's was right. Nope, wrong one. Trader Joe's was right. It is it's got a good smell. I can't spell any night, so it's better that way. Of course, Jolene Pickle, you should definitely drink to that. With being the hundreds, you got to be the one to step in at the last and like pull the switch for the light switch rave. Alright, let's get this tossed a little bit here. So we're trying to evenly cook our chicken. I don't want to get anything to be overly done. This is going to be, like I said, our stock. It's going to be used in some of our filling. It is all going to be strained. All the veggies and stuff in here will not be saved. They will be discarded. We have fresh stuff right here that is diced and cubed and ready to go. So we'll be good on that one. Now while that's cooking, I guess I should start really getting prep in here and start looking at these biscuits. So I usually cheat and I buy the Pillsbury biscuits that are frozen in the freezer section and let those guys go. And they've come out usually decently enough to save me from making biscuits. I want to transition out of that though. Not to say that it'll happen all the time, but I would like to be able to know how to make some bussin' biscuits, as they say. And I think this is the first step. This is a little controversial. They do cut them up into squares instead of circles. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of each. I'm going to do a couple squares. I'm going to do a couple circles. I just went and got... Well, I thought I got... I just did get some circle cut, guys. Some biscuit punches, if you will. Ah, biscuit punches. Biscuit punches. Let me switch over here so you can see me. So biscuit punches. Couple different diameters. So we're going to use the bit large guy here, which is about that. So it says 8 centimeters, 3 1/4 inch biscuit. So the larger guys on that one. Now these ones will be nice. These can come in. I'll use these for other stuff, I'm sure. There's a nice little set that I was able to same day from Amazon, because I actually didn't have any. The puff when they cook too. Right. I want them to come up, keep the firm up, and then keep them about that size. From what I've seen on the dough structure, we should be pretty close to that. We got all of our butters. We got a bunch of butter that's been softening up. Can I get all three going? Can I show all three? Let's see. There you go. So our chicken going on there, and that guy. So like I said, we've got our other stuff for our filling. We got that just for our doughs. We get my scrap bowl out of here. Our trash bag is here. We're trying to stay organized. We're getting better at it. Cleaning as we go, if you will, is a little bit better. Not by much, but a little bit better. Alright, so our biscuits. What are we looking at? We're looking at half a cup of buttermilk, half a cup of sour cream, 10 ounces of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, salt, and butter. So the buttermilk, from what I understand, is an acid, so that's why we need the baking powder to biscuits. So, but that's what the baking powder is there to act with the buttermilk, which is the acid. The butter itself is going to be incorporated into the. You know, I probably should have had this cold. Honestly, let's put this in the fridge or the freezer real quick. Because I don't. Basically, you want it to push it into the flour and kind of like make like little knolls of it, I guess. But you don't want it to be incorporated. Like, you don't want it melted, because you want it to kind of melt a little bit while it's cooking. Is the full how you get that good flaky buttery biscuit action to happen. So Dog just took off with a meatball. Oh man. And so that meatball was lost. So long, meatball. Hopefully the dog enjoyed the meatball. Steam on the inside. Right, so when the butter is in there and it's part of the dough, as it cooks, it will have some of that steam to help push it in the rise. As piece of that, but then also spread some of that buttery goodness. So it's like it's a double agent, if you will. That's my understanding of what the butter is doing. Again, not a professional chef, not a professional baker. This is just based on personal research and what I've been reading in the recipes that I've been looking at. But they also use the food processor to work the butter into the flour. For a teaser, oh, hold on. We've been given a teaser, folks. Oh man. That's sick. That's sick. That's pretty cool, dude. Now you really got me excited. I'm so ready for the new Mikey Six Gun stream. What are you considering for your hours? Are you going back to daytime or becoming to nighttime? What you got going, my guy? So I'm gonna get the food processor because we are gonna work the butter into the flour using that, and then go from there. It's gonna be night. Awesome, awesome. You get it? Oh, not quite long enough to show there, unfortunately. Oh, who knows? I've run out of sockets. I'm gonna have to do it back here. We ran out of sockets everywhere but here. Ran out of kitchen sockets. How bad is that? We got lights in so many places. We've run out of electrical plugs. Sundays and Monday nights, most def. Okay, cool. Depending on when Sundays, I will try and catch you, but I'm usually here Sunday from 3 p.m. Pacific time till usually about 6:30, somewhere in there. So definitely have to see what you got going for that. Let's take a real quick temperature on these chickens. Oh, okay, you got a beep at me for. I'm getting closer. Getting closer. We can do it this way. Oh, see, wrong one again. I switched the cameras and I forgot to rename them. Let's get our scale outs. I want to know I want to know the return story on this meatball. 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, gotcha. Cool. I know it is, and again, it wouldn't be. I would understand if you had to come in at the times, because you got to stream when you got to stream. That's the way that I look at it. You got to stream when the opportune time is available to you, and that's the way I look at it anyway. And I will try and be there. I try and support the people that support me. I think that's another way that it should go, and it usually works out pretty well. But that's awesome. I look forward to that. So Sunday and Monday nights. Definitely Mondays. I'll definitely be in for hanging out in there. And 5 p.m. puts me right around my time that we're good here. We got dinner goings and whatnot. So hopefully we'll get some games in. Let's see what you got going. Man, you got me all excited, Mikey. I can't do that. Can't come in on Sundays and get me all hyped up. Get me all hopped up like that with the return. We get 100 followers. I got chaos is going on in here. Chaos. Now I gotta remember what I was doing. I was measuring flat. That's what I was doing. Let's get a different bowl. Large bowl in hopes that it is enough. Now we are gonna 27 yeah, I gotcha on that one. I'm trying to, I guess the PS5 upgrade happened. I've got it downloaded. I've done like the first mission and I need to get back into it. But some FF14, I'm all for, man. I am maxed out with my summoner, so I can definitely help you with whatever. The worst of time, I finished the meatballs. Oh noes! See, that's the trick. So pickle. That's why I normally do my meatballs braised in the red sauce, because then the sauce and the meatballs are all done at the same time. Something to think about. But hopefully you can put them into the broiler or something. At least keep them warm while you get your sauces going. Don't forget your pastors, whatever you're eating it with. Alright, let's get our flour going. This is. The Food Lab does not use self-rising flour. You can use self-rising flour. A lot of recipes use self-rising flour. For the safety and purpose of this recipe, I'm going to stick with what they've said, and they've gone specifically with an all-purpose flour with the addition of baking soda and baking powder. So, that's where we're going with it. Exactly. Yeah, cover them up, get them in the oven. So, let's get our flour measured out here. So we're gonna use. This says it takes 8. It'll make 8 biscuits. We're gonna shoot for around 12 biscuits, so it's gonna be 2 apiece. So it's gonna be about 1.5 serving sizes of this. So if we need 10 ounces, so we're gonna need 15 ounces of flour. Where is our? We'll spoon it in because weighted flour is a whole lot easier. Oh noes! What are we in units? Now we're in ounces. There we go. That's 5. This is a lot of flour. 11. A lot of flour. There we go. Measuring flour is the way to go. You don't want a compact flour. That's one of the few things that I have learned. Pressing it down into the cup, it's not like packed brown sugar. You don't want to do that. Measuring is the best way to go. We're lucky enough to have a digital scale, and that's what we'll be using. I am not, I know. I use millimeters at work, does that count? Because it gave it to me in ounces. I know I should have converted it, but I didn't. It's going to be even worse here when I use tablespoons and teaspoons. There's our teaspoon. Let's get our baking powder and our baking soda. Oh, come on, guy. We gotta get that drawer. I'm sorry, Mikey. I will do better. I'm working. I'm working down it. Okay, let me make sure. So this says this is the baking powder, right? Yep. So a tablespoon and a half. Oh wait, was I supposed to? Oh yes, okay, all together with it. And then scatter the butter evenly over the flour. And pulse it until it's ready. Okay. So this is going to be the interesting part. We're putting it all together, and then we're going to put it in the butter and kind of pulse it together to kind of get it to come up really close. For dad butt shot? No dad butt shot on this one. We're trying. We're not on our OnlyPans right now. We're on the Sunday night dinner. Check back on Wednesdays. So it says, oh no, it's only a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, so we only need a half of one. I grabbed the wrong one. There we go, a quarter. So we'll just do 2 quarters. Perfect. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and salt goes into it as well, correct? Yep, and salt. Alright. So this is 1 and... Oh, I forgot that I'm doubling it up. So I need 3 teaspoons of salt. understand the salt does, it just kind of keeps it from tasting flat, if you will. The sugar piece, from what I understand, what the sugar does is the sugar just helps brown the biscuit as it's cooking. It doesn't add a whole lot to the taste or the sweetness of it. It's just supposed to help with the browning. Going with the pasta already. Always, is that a question? Is it a true question, Lonely Pickle? The doubling up with the garlic bread? Always double up with the garlic bread. The answer will always be yes in that. Now I am a proponent. I will say that the only garlic that is going into tonight's dish went into that stock part of it. It did not call for any garlic into the actual filling, so we're gonna stick to it. If you're sticking to a recipe and it doesn't call for it, I'm a proponent of just sticking the course. Unless it is like a garlicky something. If you want to put extra cloves and garlic and like garlicky shrimp, yeah, extra cloves of garlic on garlic bread, yeah, absolutely, go for it. Love the chat. Well, we appreciate you having here, man. I apologize. I need to get better about addressing. I'm glad you're here. I need to get better at that piece. So, all right. So we got that going. We need to get our Polson going. His name is Robert Polson. Let's get our butter going. Okay, so this is the fun part. This is the trick that I'm gonna go with that I learned. The easiest way, so the butter is a little harder. It's been in the freezer for about 10 minutes or so. Nothing too crazy, just to help firm it up. I'm gonna use a grater on the butter so that it breaks down into nicer, smaller pieces, and it shouldn't take too long to help. It's not even emulsifying. I don't know what you would call that when it helps blend it in with that butter, with that curd almost that we're looking like. So that's what we're gonna do with that, guys. So let's get. That was our spatchy spatch. We need a spatchy spatch. A new spatchy spatch. Sorry, I know it's hard to see back there. I don't really have a good. I guess maybe I should switch. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Can you see it? Yeah, I'll have to do it here. That's the closest one. Unfortunately, I don't have a closer one for here. Does it need a... Oh, hold on. I got this. I'm gonna do it live. We have an extension cord. Incorporate, yeah. That's what it's a full incorporation of the butter into it without the butter melting though. It's holding like a solid form instead of a liquid form, which is what the dough biscuit want. The dough biscuit is going to be kind of dryish from everything that I've seen and everybody says. So as it puts together, it's going to be kind of dry from the beginning, and then it'll work its way down a little bit. So let's do. I was plugging it back here. Haha. Right, major risk here in the kitchen. Please do not try this at home. So now if we switch back over, schmickety schmacks, don't talk backs. You can look right down into it. There you go. We got a good view on it. Alright, so all of our dry stuff is in here. We're going to get our butter shaved in, if you will. So this is going to be the hard part. It's going to be trying to keep stonks. Oh yeah. It's like, you see that? Looks like mozzarella cheese almost. Now see, this is where I'm not good either because I have really warm hands. So oh. Oh, try not to get this plastic in there. That's what I'm saying. It looks just like mozzarella cheese.
Is it butter?
Mm-hmm. You want it to be fine like couscous, and that's the consistency you're looking for. Okay, that's it. That's what we're gonna shoot for here. Let's see if we can get it pulsed a little bit and get it. I don't want it to be overly worked. Oh, now you can't see anything. There's one. We're gonna have to do it in pieces because we can't get them all in at the same time. What's up?
I'm gonna rise the camera a little bit.
No.
Raise is the correct word.
That's alright.
But
It's good where it is, I think, because it'll switch back. I don't think I can get much higher than that anyway.
no. Sorry.
This is butter, Sarah. I am shredding butter into it. Because the butter has been in the freezer, so it's just slightly cold and it's holding its form, which should help it incorporate a little more evenly than me trying to unprecisely cut up this butter into chunks that would not be even or easy enough to incorporate. Alright, we got one more. One more. This has a lot of freaking butter in it. These buttermilk biscuits got a lot of butter. Who knew? This is amazing though. This has been the easiest butter shredding I've ever seen. Alright. Trying to keep it from melting. Like I said, we don't want it to be too far gone. Alright, let's get it pulsed. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look. Getting there. This is it's looking pretty good. I think we got a chunk in there. I just want to make sure we don't have one. Right? Well, that's why I put it in the freezer, so just a little bit, so it hold its form just a little bit better. Making 1 to 200 watts. Wow. That's all, okay. So in the water is that's when the gluten starts. So let me give this just. Okay. So there we go. I think we're pretty well worked in. Like you said, that kind of looks like a couscous piece. Pretty even throughout. Pretty happy with that. All right. So we got that. We got our butter in. Transfer to a large bowl. Add the buttermilk and fold with a rubber spatula until combined. Transfer the dough to a flour work surface and knead until it becomes together. Just adding extra flour as necessary. All right. So we'll transfer back into our big bowl guy. We'll get this out here now. Perfect. I'm glad I had that assembly for. I can at least show you what was going on with that instead of just standing back in the corner like some Blair Witch weirdo. There we go. You sure? We're good. I think it's pretty even, consistent through. There's no chonkers in there. It's looks pretty well incorporated. I think with the smaller pieces, it worked out well. Mikey Six Gun, yeah, he is a chef. Okay, so let me get back to what I was doing. Let me remember here. So we're gonna add the buttermilk and the sour cream together. So a cup of, it's not quite a double, it's a 1.5. So 3/4 cup buttermilk, 3/4 cup sour cream. Do we have the big sour creams? We don't. We're gonna have to squeeze it. We got the squeezed sour creams though, so it'll work. This is not lactose friendly, unfortunately, with it being the butter and the buttermilk and sour cream. I'm sure that you could alter as such if you needed to. I believe lactose-free milk does alter the baking process slightly. Adjustments need to be made. What those adjustments are, I cannot say because, again, my knowledge isn't quite there on that guy. Oh, Doris, thank you for showing the menu. A little more fluffy. That's alright, we'll go with it. Okay. So we're looking for 3/4 cup. There we go. Let's get our sour creams. I'm gonna kill this last guy off here. Mm-hmm. There we go. So we got all that in. Everything else is in. So we just gotta basically work this in until it's just together. We don't want to overwork this. We really want to be kind of gentle. From everything that I've read and seen on this, is we want to be kind of gentle with it. It should be slightly crumbly. It should be kind of dry, and that's okay. We need to take a look at this chicken. We should probably turn her down just a little. It is smelling delicious in here, though, obviously. Okay, we're using our spatchy spatch. Get it folded in. So we're starting to come together a little bit. Oh yeah, so it's definitely a little dry. But at the same time, that butter is also in there, and I can feel it that when it starts to really work in, I have a feeling it's going to change real quick. I would say, with that place that you've been almost a year, it's not your first rodeo, though, correct, Mikey? Yeah, 10 plus. That's what I thought. It wasn't. I knew that you had started at that new place when this whole thing was going down, but I knew that you'd done a couple other places before, in like in the Virginia area. All right, so we need our lightly floured surface. Let's get our board out of there. Oof, we're gonna mess for later, that's for sure. So on our lightly floured surface, this is where we want to get going. Use our cup from earlier. Alright, hold on. Real talk. Before I dig into this. Do I use the floured surface, or do I use the rolly mat? Any preferences? Any preferences? A nice silicone non-sticky mat, or the floured counter? Mat because it looks cool. We got a counter with the counter. So I got a 1-to-1. I think we're gonna go with the counter. Let's see how it goes. As our counter is nice and cold too, which will be good. It'll help that butter from melting, because it is a little colder outside. Like I said, the last week has been cold. So we're gonna go counter. We're gonna do it. Let's get a little. Our lightly floured surface, and we'll leave a little out just so that we are, in case we need a little more. And let's get it out here. All right. Want to form it together. Next, a little bit of that sour cream hasn't been worked in. Need it just a little bit. Maybe I should have floured my hands beforehand. This is really kind of wet. It's not as dry as I thought it was going to be. But again, I'm not great with the dugs. I'm still messing around with them. We're still trying to learn them. Part of that whole learning process. Doug Judy. A little more on there. A little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to clap in your ears. Let me switch around. So I'm going to treat it just like I did that other Doug. A little more flour here. Kind of work it over in on itself. So it's still really crumbly, it's still really loose. I'm just trying not to warm it up. I've got warm hands. It doesn't help with baking. Especially with all this butter in here that I'm not trying to melt at the same time. Alright, so now I need to get the rolling pin. It says to roll it out. So it just comes together. Add extra flour as necessary. I think we need a little more, honestly. Just want a little more because I think it's just a little sticky. I think if I even try and do this out, it's going to be a bad time. Let's scrape it. Okay, there we go. So we have a nice, kind of just barely come together Doug Judy. These are the early days. He hasn't met Mangy Carl yet. Trudy Judy is still in nursing school. And things are going well here for Doug Judy. So, what does it say we want to do? We want to, with a rolling pin, roll the dough into about the 12 by 8 inch rectangle. Use a bench scraper, fold open the right third of the dough over the center, and then fold over. Yeah, so just like what we did with the bread, it's like a letter, like a 3-style letter opening. We'll fold one side onto itself, and then the other side, which is similar to like what you would do if you were incorporating butter into like a croissant, where you just like incorporate it in layers and fold it over, incorporate it into layers and fold it over, and you just keep stacking and getting those kind of layers. And we're going to get a few out of these. We just don't want to overdo it, and we don't want to overwork it. that's everything that I had read on those things. So let me get my rolling pin out. The rolling pin is on the list of things that I need to upgrade. Our metal guy, which will be decent though, because it'll stay a little bit colder with the bone in there. A little more flour too. So an 8 by 12. See, we're sticking a little bit, but not all of it. It's crazy. It's like sticking to there. Alright. So then we use the bench scraper. It says to fold it onto itself. So this side. Alright. Folded it over, press the square and roll it out again. Roll it over. It's really sticky though still. A lot more flour than I thought it was gonna be. Roll it out one more time. Rolling pretty well. Not too mad at that. I'll give it one more fold, and then the next time when we roll it out, that should be when we'll be able to cut it. So maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it didn't stick to the bottom that time. See? That's a little better than the last time. And a little better every time is all we're looking for. Slightly sticky though. Slightly sticky on this side. Can we get a little more? One last hit. One last pop. There we go. Yeah, this is coming out pretty good. Pretty happy with that. The dough is, I can see the you can kind of see the butter into it. I can't know if you can see it on camera or not. You can kind of see the butter in there a little bit, sticking with the dough. Let me fold it over. Go one more time. And then there we go. This is our Doug Judy here. This time when we roll it out, this is going to be our biscuits. So let's see if we can get a nice I know I've been in here busting around and doing whatever, but what do you guys got going on today? Anything good going on? You got a good dinner lined up for yourselves? I know Lonely Pickles got some meatballs going. Mikey's doing some crazy pork chops with some sweet potato croquettes. There we go. I think that's pretty good consistency all the way across. I think we're ready to cut these guys. Alright. Let's see if we can get... So we're going to have to do, obviously, one more roll when it's all said and done with this extra dough that we got. I guess I should have had my baking sheets out and ready. That would have been smart. That would have been smart. Hydrate. Thank you, Lonely Pickle. I appreciate that. Oof. That was delicious. Alright. Let's get these transferred over. Where's my bench scraper? We're going to go 3 wide. And that's going to be the play. Try and show it here a little bit better. Oh, oh. These look tasty. So I can probably get another. That's only 7 so far. I said these are going to taste obviously a little different than the other ones because the layers will be a little different, a little melty. Obviously things are a little different in the scenarios, but that's okay. Should still hold up pretty well. Yeah, get extra sticky. Yep, yep. That's what our bench scraper is for. Help pull those guys out. Hold our form. Alright, there's 10. Let's get 2 more. We're going to get 2 more biscuits out of this. I think we're going to have to hand form them though. I don't think I can get that rolled back out. So we'll try. It's a quick one of those. Cut it in half. More drop style, if you will. My dinner's done, but thank you for family. I hope you thank you, Lonely Pickle. Enjoy your meal. Enjoy those meatballs. Thank you so much for being 100th. We really appreciate that here. We're here every Wednesday and every Sunday, so stop back on in. You're part of the group now, so join us for dinners. Hope your dinner's great and have a good night. But there we go. So there's our biscuits. Pretty good, even shape on most of these guys, and a little bit different there as we had to get it re-rolled, but not so bad, not so bad. Woof, we're sweating in here now. Get some of our mess cleaned up. Alright, we really need to check that chicken and see how we're doing. See if we got some temperature rising on that chicken breast itself. But again, try and get a little bit of my mess cleaned up so that it's not just everywhere. Bench scraper for the win though, honestly. Gets all that little dough and all that stuff right off. No issues, no fuss, no nothing. I can live with that. I can live with that. Absolutely, 100 of 100. So cool. So cool. Okay, switch overs. Whew. Alright. Chicken temps, that's what we're doing. Chicken temps. Chicken strips. Oh, our chicken is basically cooked at this point. Okay. I think we went a bit long. And that's okay, okay? So our chicken is cooked. We don't have to worry about it. We're good on that. So let's get our process going. I need something to catch all of this stonks. And this is where our Cambros come into handies. Alright, so we're going to take our chicken out. just smells like chicken noodle soup, basically. It smells delicious. So our chicken will stay there. Our shoes. Going through a double system. We got the double guide up. Make sure that nothing gets through. Because we got our fillings and we got our other stuffs out there. So, let's get it strained out. And basically that made a nice chicken stock for us, which is going to be super tasty as a stock in this filling. Where are we at? What are we looking at on time? 5:15. We're getting pretty close. You're going to need to excuse me for just a moment, though. I need to go use the restroom. We've got our chicken out, which is good. Our stonks is going to cool off for just a second so that we can get our filling going. And then we need to get our biscuits. Let me put our biscuits in the freezer and the fridge real quick so that the butter stays cold. While I go and run and use the restroom. So hang around, don't go nowhere. We're getting close to finishing up. We'll probably be wrapping up in the next hour and a half or so to serving the meal. So stick around. We're not done yet. Alright. Ooh. So there's our chicken guy out. Let's switch over to that guy, actually. Because we are going to get our filling going here pretty shortly. Our chicken's not really going to need to cook, but we need some time for it to cook down itself. So, while that all goes down, we're going to preheat our oven to 425. Okay. Our oven is preheating, so it'll be ready for our biscuits. We've got them in the fridge right now with all that butter. We got them rolled out. We got them cut. What?
Oh, nothing.
Oh. So we got that part going. We're gonna get this filling going. 420 blaze it. We're gonna get that piece going and just getting some dinner going. All right, so that's going. Let's get our. What does it say? Where's our? Oh, lost track of what I was doing. All right. Hold on 1 second. What's everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine, honey. No worries.
All right. So we're gonna get This is going to be strange. They're going to use gelatin, which I'm not sure, because it's supposed to be more of a bake, but we're going to go with it. So let's get it going. Half an ounce of the gelatin. So we've got our stock. So for our filling, we're going to combine our gelatin and our cooled stock. So we need our stock to cool first. Let's get that measured out real quick. Measurements. What did I do with it? I just had it. Oh, there it is. Losing my heads. Stonks. 55 milliliters. We have a nice cup. There we go. We got it zeroed out. Let's get our ladle. We'll get some in here. We'll just bring it from this. I'll make it easier. So 55 milliliters. That does not seem like enough at all. Okay, this is just to combine with the gelatin to get it going. Gotcha. This is why we read the instructions. We're gonna send you straight in the magical time of 1998. Always ready to go back there. Especially with the new metals. So I'm going to put this in the fridge real quick to cool it down a little bit to mix with our jello, or gelatin. And while that's going, let's get all of our other stuff ready. Lumps together. Melt butter over medium-low heat, and then whisk in our flour. So we got to get our roux going. Once our roux is fragrant, nutty blonde color, about 5 minutes. Then we are going to stir in the onions, or mirepoix basically, until the vegetables are just slightly softened. We don't want them mush, but we definitely want them slightly softened. Now, how much butter does it want me to put into this filling? It's probably going to be a lot. 4 ounces. Oh gosh, guy. There's so much butter going into this. This is 4 ounces of butter. It's a lot of butter. It's a lot of butter. We're sticking with it though. They haven't done us wrong yet, so. Alright. How much flour do we need in this guy for our roux? Seals. 4 ounces of flour as well. Can we get a tear on this? Can I get a tear? See, they keep going back and forth though between milliliters and ounces and cups, and they're all over the place with this recipe. 1 cup minus 1 tablespoon. Like, what does that even mean?
1 cup minus 1 tablespoon.
That is less than helpful. Less than helpful all the way. And so we're going 4 ounces. We'll just measure it out this way. Why don't you walk the dog then? How about that? How about that? Yeah, I mean, I guess this is going to be a lot of butter, or a lot of flour, because it is a lot of butter too. That's 2 ounces? Really, we want 4 ounces of damn flour. It's like almost a cup. Cup minus a tablespoon, that's right. Sloppy with the rect. Alright, so our butter's melted nice and good. So let's get our new spatchy spatch for this guy. Can I cut over here? Let me cut over here so you can see what's going on. So our butter's melted. We just used our pan that we were cooking our chicken and making our broth in. Getting our butter melted down. Oh gosh dang it. And all over our stove at the same time, because that's how we do. You know how it goes. Let's take another sip of this wine. Delicious. Delicious. Alright, so yes, we're going to basically make a roux. I see this is the intriguing part, because we're going to make a roux to make the sauce, which should help it thicken, but at the same time we're going to use gelatin. It just kind of seems over the top, like turning the hat around, thumb wrestling over the top on the thickening parts. This is like an extra C when we only need 3 C's. This is going to be like a 4C thick, it seems like. I'm going to go with it. We're going to let it bloom, because you let gelatin kind of bloom the same way you do yeast, but I'm just saying I'm skeptical, that's all. Alright, butter almost melted. Cool, getting there. Let's get our flowers in. Good though, it's smelling good. It's just butter and flour, and even that just smells good. It's got a little bit of that mirepoix and other stuff over there, but I'm not trying to burn it. Don't want burnt. But we want that brown nutty flavor. That's what we're looking for. While we do that, our little stalks should be pretty cooled. Yeah, we're pretty cooled. We'll get that in here. Oh, we missed it by like a millimeter. Yeah, see, they want me to whisk this. I'll use a whisk out. They definitely don't want any of that gelatin clumps action going on. No Action Bronson on this one. So I don't know if anybody out there, I know there's a ton of different food shows. One of my favorites that is no longer, well, I guess he's kind of doing YouTube ones, is the F That's Delicious. He did it on Vice, and he's looking to do it on YouTube as well. That has been some amazing stuff. Watch the transition of culinary knowledge in somebody that didn't know a ton, but like grew up in the kitchen. Kind of cool. Very cool transition when it comes. Yeah, exactly. Same with you, me, Mikey. Love action, doing the right stuff. We restarted the whole series just to see the transition of them coming up, and it's got a good cast of people. Body's funny, Mayhem's good, and he made an entire song about Al not eating food, saying no, I don't want it. Good. Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same thing. He kind of has that same kind of attitude where he's been, like you said, he worked in those kitchens, and it may not have been as high of a level, but he worked through all those kitchens, did all those things, and has that same kind of feel for food and people for the most part. He just likes to partake, I think, a little more openly than maybe him, but you're right, in that same kind of spiritual context, someone very similar. Alright, so we're keeping an eye on our roux. Got a little bubble in action. So it's going to be about 5 minutes on that. Get it really worked in. Gosh, it smells good. It smells so dang good. And then once this is going, then we'll get our chicken deboned and kind of like break that down to put into what we got going here. Get the bones separated out, so it should make it all nice and easy. You have a similar feel. You got the sweet beards rocking it out, both pushing the weight limit or decrease, if you will. He's been on quite the transformation as well. Watching him do some of these crazy workouts with like the weighted bats and the whole deal. It's kind of crazy. See, we're gonna have to. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it either. It comes from a good understanding and a good place of the love of the food and the good food. That's where mine comes from. I love food so much. It's so good. Alright. Roux's working down in. So we're pretty low. I don't want to be too high again, not trying to burn it or do anything like that. It's just boiled chicken, bruh. Not even there yet, my man.
Not even cooked.
Not even. Oh, it's cooked, but it's not. It's just boiled chicken basically at this point. Hasn't got all the good flavor stuff yet. You gotta wait for that stuff. Alright, so we got no lumps set aside. 5 minutes, so then we're gonna stir in the onions, do all those things. So then our white wine and our stock will go in after our veggies and stuff are nice and good. Nice. Very nice. See, honestly, one of my favorite things from that is just watching him, but then watching like Body on there is hilarious. Like he's just I wish I had the confidence and the speaking ability that he does of just being able to open up and just wherever he is, it's just shoot the breeze, be able to talk to people, and just kind of like he is, but he's so funny though. It's great. I love that when it happens, and they're just like, oh yeah, we're going to Canada, and oh yeah, Body cannot come due to legal reasons. Like the show him out on the dock. It's hilarious. All right, so let's wait on. We're pretty close. It's smelling. It's kind of got like definitely like a nutty smell. That's that butter. Not quite overworked. Almost like a cheese, maybe. Does that make sense? Alright, let's get our onions and our other stuff in and get these guys worked. So they go straight in, right? Set aside with our flour. Seems too slowly to stir in the dip. So there they go. Here we go. We're going in. We're going in. Get our nice even guys there. Worked in with that roux. What are we at? So at about 7:40-ish, that's when I give it about 7 minutes to really work in with these veggies and stuff and soften up just a little bit. We don't want them too hard while it's going. So it's a weird sound on this song. It sounds like a cat purring. Does anybody else hear that? Omelette du fromage. Been working on the omelets. I recently upgraded our pans. We got the Costco set for like $30 of their non-sticks. So I've been doing omelets in that since nobody else is allowed to use those pans just yet. I've been hoarding them just to make sure I can get it down. And the omelets that come out of that, being a brand new non-stick, are totally different. They're well-pressed aluminum pans, so they hold heat pretty consistent. It is a nice change of pace, if you will, from an old pan. Nice and mixed up. Let these guys soften up just a little bit. And say our biscuits will go in probably about once once we get the broth and stuff going on this, then we'll get the biscuits in, and then we can start pulling our chicken for the final piece to be incorporated into that kind of filling. So, Sam says, right, and that's what I'm saying. It's amazing. It's rather than go out and buy some crazy expensive pan for $30, I'm getting something that it's got. It's 3 different pans. So I've got the 6, the 10, and the 12-inch pans, which is fantastic. They're fully non-stick. They've been great. They're heavy enough, and plus they can even go into the oven at this point for Costco. So for $10 a pan, even if the pan only lasted a year, for $10, that's a great deal on it. So we need a quart of the stock, is what it is. Half a cup of dry wine, and then 1 quart of the chicken stock. Let's get our wine out. Wine and dine it up. We came pretty close. We got there's about 2 quarts in there from the other one. There's definitely some fat and stuff on the top there, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get some of that disturbed a little bit. That's the other thing I was looking at is I don't have, and it's just a nice to have, is the oil separators with like the drain on the bottom. So you can pour all this stock like it could be sitting in a cup, like a measuring cup. But then you like pull the trigger so the bottom drops out because all the oil and the fat's up top. So all the stock drops out of the bottom and keeps your fat separate. I think that's the one I'm definitely going to be looking at though. Oh, this is smelling so good. I can't tell you how good my kitchen smells right now. Alright, so we get our wine set aside for the dinner, and our wine set aside for me. One for you, one for me. Let's put a metal cup in the freezer. This is true. This is true. But see, the ones I'm looking at, they're not bad. They're like $10-15. They're nothing too crazy. It would work on like chicken and beef as well. So like when I do roast beef, so I can take all my drippings, separate my fats from my stonks and the good stuff, and swirl it over the oil. Interesting. So kind of like get the oil to cling to it, basically try and freeze the oil out of it. Is that what it's doing at that point? Right, bro? The hype is real, man. The hype is real on this one.
Smells good.
It's gonna be hopefully a good dinner. Hopefully a good one. One for the books, we're hoping.
Been a hot minute since we had this too.
It is. And this is the first incorporation where we've done our own homemade biscuits into this piece. So yeah, okay. So yeah, it kind of like clings. It's so cold that the oil it like solidifies to it and then jumps, and you can kind of roll it out. That's kind of cool. The only problem is I don't have a metal cup. I could go get one, but then if I'm gonna go get a metal cup, then I could just get my oil separator. That's my excuse anyway. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. And again, I appreciate everybody stopping in tonight. I know Sundays are an off night sometimes for people getting their reset on the work week. What are you doing? What are you doing? Captain Underbite. What are you doing? Get out from there. Metal measuring. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's perfect. I have a ton of those from IKEA. Maybe we'll give that a shot next time then. Alright, we got about 3 minutes or so on these. They feel like they're starting to soften up but not be overly done. That's the hard part, is that dang good smell filling up the house. Oh, I need the pimento peppers. That's what I need too. Where are the peppers going? So, poaching, bubble, remove from heat, stir in frozen peas, diced pimentos, and prepared gelatin, followed by salt, thyme, pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. Stir until gelatin is fully melted into the sauce. Adjust to taste. Okay. That is a mirepoix, yes. It is our celery, carrots, and onion. We tried to do our best at dicing and get a nice, even country square dice, if you will. You're back, Lonely Pickle. Welcome back. How were the meatballs? Were the meatballs delicious? You spelled it right. Have a good sweat, like a light stretching, but not a full cardio. Exactly. Exactly. Was the dog? Yeah, exactly. This dog that got the meatball. How happy was he with this whole scenario here? Even better. Awesome. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Love to hear. Love feeding them. Love to hear the good aspect of it. I'm glad they turned out good. We're getting pretty close here. We're gonna add in our good stuff here shortly with our chicken stunks. Alright. So our wine's gonna go in. We're gonna give our wine a second to kind of cook down. And then we're gonna go in with a quart of our chicken stock. And then when that's going, we'll get our biscuits in the oven because they need a good brush the tops with melted butter. Okay, let's get them brushed with melted butter. Okay, we do that. Let's get this thing going while that's going. So we're multitasking right now. Cooked off there, so it's not as pungent. I'm gonna get a little bit of melted butter. Sorry for it being so loud. Just brushing the tops of them with some butter. Again, I had them in the fridge here for the last about 5-10 minutes or so, just to kind of stay cold and to keep the butter that's inside the biscuit from melting, because it obviously is a little warm in here. We've got the oven preheating for these guys at 425, so we're trying to multitask the best we can. Yeah, see, they're nice and they're not too bad now. They're firmed up, which is good. So that means they should hold up pretty well when they bake. Let's hope we get the rise and all the good stuff that we wanted out of them now. That'll be the trick. Biscuits, yeah. The B-I-Z-K-I-T right here. And in they go. And we will not look, because when you're looking, you're not cooking, and we're letting the biscuits do their thing. Okay, there we go. That wine's cooked down a little bit now. Shouldn't be overly powering. Let's get our quart going. That's about half. A little more. There we go. That nice color to it. Alright. And I'm actually going to save this. This is another quart of kitchen stock that I can use again. Trying to save, reuse whatever I can. And this will be perfect. It's just enhanced with flavor. With the flavors. Alright. Let's get our chicken pulled up. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, yeah, now our chicken is nice and cooled down. Oh, still a little warm in some places, but kind of get it pulled. Let's switch over here. Can you see? So we just boiled it. That's all we did. It's coming off the bone, nice and easy. You just want to make sure there's none of those little bones that are in there. Collarbone especially. Tips are out. Cool. We'll chop it all up to go basically in at the end of it because it doesn't need a whole lot of cook time as it is. Oof. And just making sure we got no bonage in the chicken. This is the no bone zone. It's harder than your mama after you come home with an F in her report card. Well, you see, the thing, Mikey, is that was every time. I know I've had my fair share of the slappings. And it does, I completely agree. I love the new Limp Bizkit. It is great. It is, Fred Durst has got it on point again. He knows where he needs to be. He's just having fun with it. They're all having fun now again. It's not about chart topping and doing the stuff. It's just about having fun, and I think that's why I really like it again. See, this isn't quite the dirty rotten biscuit that they talk about in the new stuff, but this is that new buttermilk biscuit. DJ Lethal isn't quite here yet, so I know, I saw that they announced a tour as well for the new Deftones, and that's promising. As things start to open back up here and things are kind of moving forward, navigating a crazy world that we live in a different space. But I'm definitely ready to see some live music again and do that kind of thing. Lead singer died. For what? For Deftones? No, not that I'm aware of. I hope Chino hasn't died. That would ruin my Sunday. Waiting on new Philly for forever. Okay. How's it going, Five Iron Fishy? How you doing tonight? You're just in time here. We're coming... Things are moving pretty quickly. We're getting our stuff together for our chicken and biscuits. I'm getting our chicken chopped up, if you will. You know, we're just going to shred it. We're going to do it all by hand. Smell is amazing. Thank you. Doing pretty well, Five Iron Fishy. I appreciate it. Seeing you, you've been working hard lately and pushing it. And as a resident of SoCal, I appreciate your efforts. So nothing too crazy. Don't want big chunks, but it doesn't have to be a full-on chicken salad either. And the chicken breast is, like I said, it was just boiled in its own stock, so it's coming up nice and kind of like stringy and tenderish. A good shredding. I'm doing this by hand, you can see, and it's all the way cooked through. It smells really, really good. Ooh, it's a little hot in some places that were close to the bone. It's alright though. We're just gonna power through it. We're gonna power through them hot chicken bones. We haven't had to eat anything hot, so that's good. Dang right, we're fafoing around. Such a good emote. I'm so glad it finally got approved. I don't know why it took so long to get approved, but hey, whatever. I know Twitch has got stuff going on. They got the right things going on, so what are you going to do? There's our mound of chicken. So this is going to go in. Once we get it up to like a boil over there, we'll get this in just to kind of like reheat it. It's already fully cooked through, so there's no need to worry about that. I don't think they cooked it through in the recipe, but I'm not putting this one in the oven, so it's going to be slightly different in that aspect. Just a heads up. kitchen towels too, and I don't know what we did with them. We need to get those out. We're trying to use less paper towels and more of the towels, but I forgot that we had them, honestly. Ooh. How are our biscuits looking? Okay. We got some rise. We got some rise going. Doing a brunch stream. It could be. Well, we've done one brunch stream. We did a nice charcuterie board. Just kind of had a couple people over. Had some bottomless mimosas. Laid out the charcuterie while it was there. But it was during the summer and it was really hot, especially in our house, which has no AC. So I'm still working on that. But brunch, yeah, brunch is on the menu. Wicked Kitten, how you doing tonight, girl? I did a proud one for you. I went and saw a horror movie. We went and saw the Foo Fighters 666, Studio 666. H. Balser was not prepared, but that's her own fault because she didn't watch the previews that I sent her, and it was actually a funny, campy horror movie, so... And that's on you, that's all I'm saying. Oh man, okay. Do you see the transition as I stirred that? And just how, like, it looks thick. It just looks like it's nice. See, that's why I don't understand what I need this gelatin for. This stuff is doing a great job as it is. This roux is just beyond thick. And that gelatin really scares me on that piece. It really scares me. It was a great campy, funny movie. They took it serious enough to make it look good, but it was also just kind of like a slight gore slash kind of like a funny horror movie, so it was good. Yes. Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. So same, you did, and those tacos looked great. I was so happy when I saw it, and I was scrolling my Twitter, and I was like, oh, she's posting cooking photos? Yeah! We're slowly spreading the message of food and drink from Twitch out into the world, and just seeing it happen is great. But I hope your Sunday's going okay. I know it's been a week around the world. We're offering a place of refuge for today, a place to hang up the worries for a moment and just chat and hang out and kind of block it out just for a few moments and enjoy this meal we're about to eat. Our chicken and stuff is done. Our biscuits are pretty close. They're looking good. Our filling is definitely thickened up. Like I said, you can see that. Look at that. Yeah. So we'll let it go just a little bit longer. Then we'll get our chicken in. We'll get our peas in at the end of it. Actually, let's go ahead and get the chicken in now so that it can get warmed up. It's got enough time to really warm up. Weirdly, exactly. There's no way to describe all the different things that have happened this week. Good, bad, and indifferent. It's just been a week, per se. There we go. I need all this into the actual mix. All gonna fit. Yeah, we're going all in. We're going all in. Yep. The chicken stay in? Alright, stayed in. I thought the chicken flipped out. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. See, that chicken was trying to come out. Not happening. Not on my watch. You're staying in, chicken. because that roux is so thick. I really want to fight everything in my gut is telling me to fight that gelatin all the way. Don't use it? That's okay. I'm right there with you. I think I'm not going to use it. I don't think it needs it. I think that roux is more than strong enough to bring that piece together. If I was to bake it or do something more, put more liquid in it, then yeah, absolutely, I think the gelatin would be needed. But I think at this point it would make it too thick. I want it to be somewhat creamy, but not like a solid. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going with. And at this point, we're just trying to get the chicken heated back up at this point. To similar with what the actual filling itself is, since it's been nice and warm on the stove. Yeah. Alright, what's our biscuit action looking like? We've been in for about 10-15 minutes, I think. We need a little longer, maybe another 5 on the biscuits. I think if it was a pie, I would, because I wanted to set a little bit better, and that's what I've took it from. I've kind of took this chicken pot pie filling, and that's what I'm using as the chicken part of this chicken and biscuits. Oh, 5 Iron Fishy with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome to my kitchen. Enjoy all your new emotes. We just got some newly ones approved. We got our Fafo and a couple others. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. So much hype! The hype's one of my favorites. I just need to get a little hype sign that I can do this. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's been a pretty cool day here. We hit 100 followers. Lonely Pickle was our lucky 100 and the 100 followers, so it's a good milestone today. Was looking forward to it. Gonna have to do something now to celebrate 100, and we have to move that goal up. We gotta go to the next hundreds. Give that meal. I'm not shake weighting it. We're not shake weighting the meal. That's not happening. Where is there? Looking for these, and they're right in front of me. All right, I'm gonna peek. I know it's not cooking because I'm gonna look, but I'm gonna peek. Woohoo! They're close. They're really close. They're really close. The shake weight. Alright, give it another 1 more minute. I want it to be... you know what? We're gonna pull them. I think they're good. I think we got enough brownage on the top. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's switch it over to the countertop. I'm gonna put them right on top of this. Here we go. My body is ready, yes. Well, we're a little flat on some, but... Ooh. We definitely got some nice action rising in these guys. We got some flaky layers here. These are a little flat. These were our other ones that were kind of the remnants. They stuck a little bit. But, oh yeah, we're nice and browned on the top. Right? For being the first buttermilk biscuits I've made in forever. If ever, I don't think I've ever made buttermilk biscuits. This is, looking pretty good right about now. Yeah. Yeah. From scratch, yes, these are from scratch. You can see, obviously, these were the first ones that we rolled. This is our good row. And then we stopped about here. Then we had to do these kind of by hand. So we got a little crumbling action. We got a little bit of drop biscuit. That's okay. It'll still eat pretty well. So looking forward to that. But let's also get our peas out. How much do we need? ounces, about a cup of peas basically, and 3 ounces of drained diced pimento peppers. So how much is in this? This is 4 ounces. All of these? They want all of these into this? I don't think so. We'll put about half of these in there. Alright, let's move our biscuits for just a moment. Let's get our stove off. Alright. Ooh, little pepper action. Just a little bit. There's our peas. There we go. We'll get our organic green peas. We'll get about a cup of those into this guy. Now these go in very last. We're going to take them off the heat at this point. The peas don't need any cook time. They will just... The heat of how hot it is will cook them and defrost them and be perfect serving temp. So you don't want to cook them in the process. You want to do it kind of at the fact when you're closer to serve time. There we go. I know peas aren't everybody's favorite, but they are delicious, and if you take the time, I think they're worth it. Get some of these peppers cut up. There we go. And then we'll get one good plating done up. I'll get the plating done, we'll get a taste test, and then should probably see if anybody's out there on. Is it ready to raid? Yes, there's a ton of pea. It's very pea-like. I know what you're trying to do. You won't make me say those words. What did I do with my knife? There we go. That was a good try. Good try. You won't catch me slipping. Not like that. Cut these up a little bit finer. Add a little contrast into it. Alright. And then we'll use our bench scraper, which we'll clean off before we use our bench scraper. Best tool ever. Just a little bit of flavor in there, that's all. That's all it's adding. And let's get this over here so you can actually see it. Oh. Spatchy spatch. Add a little bit of pimento pepper. It's nice. It's going to add a little bit of different flavor. A little bit of red into the mix. Gosh, this smells so dang good. It just smells like a chicken pot pie. Who doesn't love a good chicken pot pie? Alright. So let's see if we can now set up a bowl. Let's give it a taste test first before we do all of that. Alright, so small. Small guy. So good. touch the lemon zest and then crack them. We got you. I got you. We got lemons from a patient that my wife at her work brought in their lemon trees. There's always a ton of fresh citrus around here. We've been able to pull some fresh oranges off our back tree as well. Those have been mighty tasty. I think it needs a little hit of salt. Not a lot. Just a little bit though. Pepper for sure. That's a full teaspoon. A couple of cracks of this black peppers. And a little zest. A little zesty zest. How much are we thinking, Mikey? How much are we thinking? Like a touch? Pepper grinder ASMR? Yeah. So I'm going to hit it with like a smidge. Just a little bit of acid, not a whole lot. 1.5 teaspoons? Gotcha. There we go. Good mix up. Now we're talking. Speaking the language I know now. My bad. Okay, yep, perfect. Salt is there. A little bit of the acid from the lemon. Good call. And the pepper is on point. So there we are. Is our mighty tasty mix. Let's get one nice and plated up here. You want to try a piece?
On a dry piece, please.
Yep.
Let's take a little veg in there.
Working.
What a kind of creamy texture.
Right? It's that thick brew. I'm glad I didn't put the gelatin in. Gelatin was not the right call.
Yeah.
Not sure what they were thinking of in that recipe. There we go. Ooh, there's our biscuits. Our biscuit came out nice and
Layered.
enjoy this biscuits. Oh God, it smells good. It smells so good.
Can confirm.
Splash of the heavy cream, you think? I don't think I actually have any heavy cream right now. I got the buttermilk. That's all I got right now, though. I have no heavy cream at the moment.
Because we're not doing keto anymore.
I know. Right? It's got a nice crumb on it and everything. It flaked out pretty well. Really happy with that. I think maybe this bowl might be too big. I think it's a little big. What I want to show it off. I want to give it the presentation look that it deserves. There we go. A little bit smaller bowl.
You made the big bowl for me.
Get a nice scoop up to make sure we get a little bit of everything. So that's about a half of the cup of the filling. Hit it with one more bow. And just can.
Just
go. You have our chicken and biscuits. So happy with that. These biscuits look amazing. This filling is out of this world.
It is yummy.
I am so happy with how that turned out. I was really worried about the biscuits. The biscuits did give me a little concern, but we powered through and we got it. Hold on, can I put it? I need to get like a stand. Yeah. Can I do that? Hold on, not quite that tall. Hold on. Yeah. Look at that. Guys, gals, non-binary pals. I pronounce dinner is served at this point. It smells amazing. It looks fantastic. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I think I need to find somebody to raid here real quick, because I want to go enjoy some dinners. So if you can stay just a moment, let's see if we can find and see who's on. I don't know off the top of my head who is on Sunday nights. Luna is still going. Yeah, I think we're gonna go. Maybe we'll go see Luna. Oh, she did Luna Elda. That's what it is. I gotta make sure I spell her name right. So we're gonna go visit Luna Elda. She is a VTuber. She just got her avatar today. What is she playing? She is playing Deep Rock Galactic. I have no idea what that is. Not a clue. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Once you get your Sunday schedule down, we can play this. We got this. And I have no problems with that. I really appreciate you coming back and coming out of the wild again and hanging out here all night. I really appreciate it. And for everybody that's been lurking or hanging out or doing whatever, I appreciate all your supports. We wouldn't have been able to hit 100 followers without you guys' help. So everything, all the likes on the photos, on the social medias, that helps, it promotes it. All the subs, all the follows, all the lurks. Really, I can't say enough. You guys do so much, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here and being along for the journey with me on this one. It's you never know where it's gonna end, and so far it's been pretty good. Tasty as heck. Heck yeah! Alright, let me set it up, because now I am ready to go get some of this yummy, yummy food in my belly. Get in my belly. So we're gonna go raid Luna Elda. She is, like I say, a VTuber. She's playing, I'm not sure what she's playing right now. She usually plays variety stuff. She is a Zelda extraordinaire. She's been helping Tooth with some of his, along with Sarah as well. So she's been a great part of that community. She's raided us a couple of times. So if you don't follow her already, let's go show her some love. And I want to say from me, thank you again. Enjoy your Sunday evenings. Tomorrow's Monday, but that's okay. We can get through it. Sending you guys good vibes. And take it easy. Try not to get too beat up out there. Peace, guys. Love you all. Thank you again. You're the best. Latest. Oh.
Widgets! Oh my lord! Oh snap with all of the raiders. Welcome, raiders. Welcome.
Welcome to the party.
We are streaming Deep Rock Galactic. Welcome to our anniversary stream and debut of my VTuber. I am so happy to have everyone join us. Oh! How was your cooking, Widget? Oh, thank you. Her name is Lunelda. She is a cat, or like a galaxy cat, or like a galactic cat. And this is the cat cafe. So she's like in a little maid outfit. Biscuits turned out really well. I am so happy to hear that. But welcome, Raiders. I'll set your tables. Pick a chair, and would you like tea or coffee tonight? Get ready to eat. Ooh. Are you gonna post pictures? Because what you were... I am currently playing Deep Rock, so I do apologize. There are so many bugs.
It used to, like, if you hold E, but it doesn't do that anymore. They changed it.
And welcome to the chat. HB Alsor? Is that how you pronounce your name? Welcome. Making my way downtown. Nope, other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pipeline successfully connected to pump jack.
All right. So now that we're in like a little calm space, everyone go ahead and check out Widget. He is an absolutely amazing content creator. He creates awesome food, which makes me so heckin' hungry. Hello, Doors. Welcome back to stream. It's gonna probably play too sound. I'm so sorry.
Just need to set up one more, then we can start the extraction sequence.
To get a better sound. Before was using my phone. I mean, the phone works great for the video, which is what I'm using here.
It's a cooking clip. It is a cooking clip.
421. We missed it.
Where's our third one? Oh, we haven't built it. Okay, there it is. I see it.
Is this a different kitchen, Widget? Okay.
Like, where's the second one at? Well, I know it's been strung out.
Heal.
Fossils?
Oh, we just built it. Okay. So we need 4 more fossils.
I got one.
Morkite is waiting.
One right
Return
here.
to the refinery and start.
But also, guys, I am also streaming with other streamers. The one person that I am doing an anniversary stream with is Ketsune Mist. She's an amazing streamer as well, and my best friend. And then on the far left is Thanato Viper, who is also a small content creator and streamer. And then the one all the way to the right is my brother Paul, or Famabland. We like to call him Famalama though, because he's a llama. All right, I think we are good to go, guys. Whoa,
We still need.
fossils.
Yeah, we'll start the refinery. We'll need 2 more.
Okay.
2 more fossils.
Morkite is being extracted. Refinery
Maybe in that room?
are working at full capacity.
Maybe.
Be warned, the noise will draw in the
See one.
locals. So stay on your toes and do what you can.
Ah, somebody read my mind.
All the noise is pulling in the
Supply drop.
locals.
Yeah.
Them out before they gnaw up our pipeline.
All right, I'm gonna come back to point.
Hang in there. Supplies are on the way.
It's getting about to that point.
Fine job.
Morkite
is being extracted. Pump sequence at 25%.
Oh snap!
The pipelines are jammed. You need to maintain.
Thank you so much for the follow, Sarah Thorne. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Cat Cafe. I'm Lunelda. And it's so lovely to have you here. It is absolutely craziness at this moment, so I do apologize. I would normally do my whole spiel, but I'm tunnel visioned. Gonna eat, lurk.
You will be seated shortly.
Pipeline is fixed, but there are more outstanding.
3 is ready.
It's barely.
Alright, our this one's done. Alright, it should be running.
But you need to clear
ahead, grab you a table, grab a seat, or have a seat. Not grab a seat. I mean, you could grab a seat too. Would you like tea or coffee? Oh shit, where?
Hold him down.
Got him. Oh, another one. I'm loading my gun. Move, guys. He didn't get a chance. I got 2. Well, welcome. May I ask how you found me, Sarah? Oh, there's a spitter getting me.
Pipeline functional again. However, we still have malfunctions in the system. Pipeline repaired, but other pipelines are still malfunctioning.
I didn't mean to fall, but I mean, this works too.
Little ankle biters.
All pipelines fixed and operational again. Keep on fighting. More bugs coming your way.
More bugs? I don't want more bugs.
Got clotheslined by another pipeline.
A Victorian.
At 75%. Let's squeeze those
Slowing him down.
dry.
Got it. I got 2 again.
Pipelines are leaking. Get on it. Get them fixed.
Oh goodness.
This pipeline is fixed, but you need to clear all malfunctions in order for the
All
refinery to run.
malfunctions.
This pipeline is fixed, but there are more outstanding issues. You fixed the problem. Everything is running smoothly again. Wave alert. The noise from the refinery is attracting the bugs. Get ready for a scuffle.
Oh,
Big guy.
a Victorian.
Slow him down.
Dead. What was that sound?
All the liquid movement
Press her, press her.
Oh.
the cargo